Hello YouTube, this is Frugal and this is the Frooglesim news for today, Sunday, April the 3rd, 2016. First up, Dovetail Games Flight School. The video you're watching is the official trailer for Dovetail Games Flight School, and it was posted to Muttley's Hangar's YouTube channel, which is linked in the show notes below, as is the official site for Dovetail Games Flight School. Pre-order is now available for Dovetail Games Flight School at Steam, and if you pre-order it, you get the Diamond DA-42 DLC aircraft for free. Now bear in mind, this is a sim which is due to release later this month. The video shows a bunch of very impressive information, showing off aircraft information, emergencies, landing notes, charts information, a lot of tutorial stuff you would expect to see in a high quality flight school product, but the video is not the sim. The video is all pre-rendered. The video is all pre-rendered with voiceovers and recordings to make it seem very, very cool. Nobody has actually seen and done an in-depth look prior to release at the sim itself. Now, Dovetail did recently attend a show, and there is off-monitor footage floating around YouTube showing the sim in action for reals. And to be honest, it looks a little bit like FSX. In fact, it has the same style of mission pointers and hints and all that good stuff as FSX. Dovetail, I was a little concerned with them when they released FSX Steam Edition that they were being very quiet and not sharing anything with the community. They've certainly stepped up this time around. There are a lot of interviews with people from Dovetail floating around YouTube right now, but I've got to say I'm a little bit concerned that they all seem very, very, very friendly to the Dovetail brand and seem to be getting quite excited about the prospect of Dovetail Games Flight School, but again, have not actually seen it. For a product that is now available in pre-order and is due to release in just a matter of weeks, that's a little bit of a concern. So I just want to get that out there, the usual caution. If you're a big, huge fan of Dovetail, and why not, then go ahead and pre-order right now and get your place in line and get some free DLC. For the rest of us though, some caution and some restraint might be in order, just to see what it's actually like before we hand over some money. Also related to Dovetail Games Flight School, OrbX announced that they are partnering with Dovetail to bring, and I quote, key aspects of their technology to Flight School. The announcement speaks about how excited OrbX are for Dovetail to usher in a new era of 64-bit simulators, completely ignoring the fact that DCS World and X-Plane are both already 64-bit and have been for some years. But anyway, it also mentions that OrbX have a decade of experience working in the technology Flight School is based upon, which could imply, for add-on terrain producers at least, that the new system is not that different to the old one. And it does also specifically mention that they're very excited about Dovetail's, in quotes, enhanced 3D engine. So there you go. Let's move over to DCS. First up, DCS Gazelle. This was pointed out to me by a viewer in the show notes, in the comments last time. I've covered the Gazelle before, but Brian from Polychop put up a video showing the quick startup of the Gazelle to demonstrate how simple the actual aircraft is. It demonstrates a fully working cockpit with great animation on the dials as power comes online, and from the video you actually get to hear some awesome sound sets, particularly in the external view. Fully functioning navigation system is included, Brian is keen to point out in that video, although it's not demonstrated in the video. And after he runs through the startup, Brian then takes the aircraft for a quick spin around the airfield, showing off what is a remarkably fluid flight model and great handling from the Gazelle. No news yet on a release date or price. As soon as I have more information, you will have it too. Brian and Polychop's video is linked in the show notes below. Sticking with DCS, the DCS F-86 Sabre has now officially come out of beta, which is great news. The Sabre is one of a number of aircraft from Belsim Tech that have been in beta for, it seems like, an interminable amount of time, but this week it left beta and is now version 1.0. The F-86 Sabre is an icon of the Korean War era, a highly capable swept-wing single-engine jet fighter that was from time to time able to serve double duty as a light air-to-ground attack aircraft as well. The DCS F-86 Sabre features a professional level flight model, fully interactive cockpit and weapons, highly detailed damage modeling, a 6 degrees of freedom cockpit, and I think most impressive is actually the flight physics. The flight physics in particular are a highlight of this aircraft for me. It feels like at times you're balancing the aircraft on the tip of a needle, and it's very satisfying to spend a bit of time with and get to grips with. The DCS F-86 Sabre is available from digitalcombatsimulator.com at the link in the show notes below. It will cost you $49.99, but you can also get a bundle with the Nevada Test and Training Range for $75. It requires DCS World 1.5 at a minimum, which is free, or DCS World 2, which is also free. Moving over to X-Plane, the Kolomata F-18. Now you're currently watching Thomas Rasmussen's video of the Collimator F-18. This is an X-Plane take on the currently operational F-18F twin-seat multi-role fighter. It's important to note that this is a currently serving variant of the F-18 in use by the US Navy and Australian Air Force. The model features 4K resolution textures as well as the famous 3D HUD. Collimator claimed that they have modeled the collimated HUD as well as much of its functionality, including the ability to adjust color, line thickness, and so on. The aircraft has custom displays and dials for flight data, weapons indicators, field indicators, and radar, as well as custom gauges for the engine and fuel information, including nozzle indicators. Also includes 16 liveries covering some well-known squadrons using the aircraft. Collimator have modeled key flight model data, including correct landing speeds, max turn rate, top speed, and so on. Their information page, though, doesn't go into detail on weapons, weapon systems, electronic warfare systems, or countermeasures. So while I haven't seen this in person myself, I don't expect it to be a full study sim-like experience in the same vein of maybe VRS's Superbug. That said, if you are a Hornet fan, head on over to xplane.org store. The Collimator F-18 will cost you $24.95. Next up, the ME-109BF, also for X-Plane. MLADG. Now, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but the spelling is MLADG. That's the name of the company. They have released their ME-109BF, a recreation of one of the most famous German fighters from World War II. The X-Plane version recreates the G2 model, sporting a V12 DB605 engine with a 1,455 horsepower and a top speed of 685 kilometers per hour. It has a fully functioning cockpit, custom night lighting, 4K resolution textures, and a SASL-enhanced failure model. 3 liveries are included, including a, in quotes, tropical version of the aircraft. Don't know what that means. The price is, however, just $18. More information on the xplane.org link in the show notes below. Back over to the world of FSX and Prepared now. Jan Visser's DC3. Now, this was posted on Sim Outhouse this week, and it's a great video showing work-in-progress shots of a new, soon-to-enter beta DC3 for Prepared, and it looks stunning. Now, this is a project that's actually been going on for 3 years now, and it's based on Manfred Jahn's DC3, which is a freeware aircraft published in 2011 at flightsim.com. I personally have been waiting for a long time for a high-quality DC3, and this looks like it might just fit the bill. It certainly looks very pretty indeed. The textures in the video are all 4K resolution and showcase multi-layering, specular effects, transparency, and reflection to create a great sense of depth. No idea of when it's going to be finished or when it's released. It is likely to be freeware because it's based on a freeware aircraft, and it's actually very, very exciting. More information at the Sim Outhouse link in the show notes below. The video you're watching is Gman520s, and you can go watch his full video and other ones on his channel, great channel, at his link in the show notes below. More news on this as I have it. Next up, the Carenado CJ2. Thank you to the hordes of you who messaged me. The Carenado CJ2 is out. Yes, it's out, and here it is in the show. Carenado's latest Cessna ExecuJet is released, the 525A Citation CJ2 HD. It being Carenado, the names have to be very catchy. This is the latest in a series of aircraft from Carenado that sport the Proline 21 systems, including the acronym alert, PFD, MFD, DCP, CHP, FMS, and more, all of which rely on an updatable Navigraph database. The systems modeled both VNAV and NAV modes, as well as flight plan creation, a working weather radar, terrain and situational awareness modes, and more. 4K textures are used throughout and are paired up with high-quality sounds recorded from the actual aircraft. As always, Carenado claimed the aircraft was tested by real pilots, but handily omit whether or not they were real and current CJ2 pilots. 5 liveries are included, as well as the usual bank of PDF documents covering checklists, procedures, and of course the Proline 21 system. The price is $39.95, which will get you both the FSX and the Prepared 2.5 and Prepared 3 versions. More information at the Carenado link in the show notes below. And finally, OrbX, Echo November Sierra Delta or Sandane. I covered this previously. It is now released, and again, I'm covering this because a handy viewer commented that I had missed it, so here it is. Now, Sandane is from the same developer who made Concrete Muni, Orcas Island, Welshpool, and Fair Oaks. It features photocell imagery, mesh, and autogen work from Turbulent Designs. It's a unique airport in that both ends of the runway are very close to steep hillsides which dive into the Norwegian fjords. It has also been listed as one of the scariest runways in the world. The usual OrbX features apply to this, so 30 centimeters per pixel coverage of the the airport and the nearby town of Sandain. It supports people flow, object flow, texture flow, and is all-round gorgeous. $26.68 is the price. More information at the full terrain link in the show notes below. That's it for next week. If I have missed something, please leave me a comment in the comment section below, and I will take a look and cover it next week if necessary. Until then, my name is Frugal. Thank you so very, very much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon.